And now Gavin Gerhardt, who is three-time captain now? Three-time captain?
We'll see. We'll see when the voting comes out before the season.
Maybe they won't. Maybe they won't vote.
Maybe they won't.
Year.
I don't know. Maybe
They're
they
sick
won't.
kind of a big deal. You're out.
Yeah.
Starting center for the Bearcats, an anchor, a staple on the offensive line. Gavin, welcome to the show. How are we doing? How's the offseason going?
Going good. Thanks for having me. It's an honor to be here to represent Cincinnati in the way. But the offseason's been going well. Just got back from a little break. Was back home in the hometown of Xenia, Ohio for the last 2 weeks, and then came home last night to spend the rest of the week here with my girlfriend, and then get ready for workouts next week.
The bustling metropolis of Xenia, Ohio.
Oh yeah, it's beautiful. It's
good old 35.
Mm-hmm. Yes, sir.
So this question was posed at Bucketheads, and I think we all have our answer, and most people agree on the answer for this question. But I'm curious, for you as a team leader, who do you think the funniest person is on the football team?
I would say last year was John Williams, and for the first 5 years it was John Williams.
Okay.
I'd say now it's probably maybe Logan Wilson, or somebody like that.
You
Logan
got
Wilson's that's my guy. He's we're always joking with each other, always talking to one another.
He just came on with us like an hour ago, and it was a great conversation.
Oh, I'm sure it was full of laughter.
Yeah, Aaron said his face hurt at the end, so that's a pretty good signal of how that went.
Yeah.
But so I guess moving forward, you guys brought in a new running back in Tawi Walker, a lot of new offensive weapons. How much better do you think this offense can be just with the plugins at wide receiver, with Sorsby being at year 2, and all that on top of, a pretty recreated offensive line given the departures that you guys had?
I think we can be pretty good. I think that the staff brought in the right guys for this program. The offensive line, I'm really happy with how that's coming together, especially with Joe, who just got on campus yesterday, actually. And then you plug in some new pieces here and there at wide receiver that got a lot of speed and athleticism, and Jeff, who's a freak of an athlete. And then you plug in Tawi and a similar style to Corey, who'll get those tough yards for us. And then you got guys coming back that are explosive, like Evan Pryor and Manny and those guys. But I'm really looking forward to it. I think we can have a real successful year this year.
They say to a business person who's trying to get a job, sell me a pen. Well, sell me on Joe Cotton, because that dude is a monster.
Yeah. I mean, as soon as the process opened up of the portal and they gave me his phone number and his Instagram link, and I was instantly texting with him and calling him. I think I had a 49-minute conversation with him on the phone, just answering any question he had. I've been here long enough. I know how things work. Different staffs, doesn't matter. I know how the city is, So it was real easy when it came to recruiting with him. He asked all the right questions, how's the culture of the team and whatnot. But the way he plays he's his length to his advantage. He's a freak of a human. His size is amazing. He's a future NFL left tackle. I promise you that. If you've watched any of his film, he might not have been going against, Big 12 opponents every week, but he's ready to play at this level. And we'll see that here soon.
He has the most South Dakota name too, right? In Joe Cotton.
Yeah, and he's similar to me. So, I'm an hour away from my hometown. That was where he was at. His hometown was about an hour away. So he's born and raised there. But definitely, yeah, for sure.
All business.
Now, the most important question, and this is something that we grilled you on after one of the last fall practices. How did Joe get his steak cooked?
I feel like he was more like I'm not real sure. It was definitely like a medium or maybe even less than that, but
okay.
Not near as done as mine, that's for sure.
I feel like since you can't remember, it was probably a medium rare. Because if it was medium well,
I probably was looking away.
Oh, that's awesome. So what did he like? What did the staff say to you about this kid and kind of what he can provide for you guys? Because I know you got to know him, you probably watched some film, but how much did they talk to you about what he could do for this offensive line as a whole? Because it's very rare that someone gets their like best transfer portal edition in the spring portal, and especially for that guy, especially on the offensive line, to come in and be a plug and play guy like Joe can possibly be.
It was all guns blazing. I mean, we knew that we needed a left tackle. We knew that we have a lot of pieces that can play and be in the rotation. But then, throughout the spring, I wasn't out there as much, but watching the guys and making sure that I could coach them up, even though I don't play left tackle, but I know what the scheme with which we run and how we need to do it. I knew that was a big get for us. I knew that's something that we really needed, and they emphasized that from the beginning. I mean, Jack was on my tail, making sure I was, as soon as he could give me his contact information, he got it right to me. And I instantly gave him a text, "Hey, when can you chat, man? I want to get on the phone with you. I want to, tell you all about Cincinnati, tell you about this program, tell you about the offensive line. A lot of new faces on the offensive line. But it was a big get for us, and they really emphasized that a lot."
Gotcha.
You've started 36 games. You're going into your, fourth season now as a starter. You've been as someone even alluded to in the chat here, Tonk, you've been a constant here at Cincinnati. You've seen some different things. What are you excited this season about in particular that you feel like you haven't seen over the course of your career thus far?
I feel real confident about this year. I mean, I've been a part of championship teams, and I'm not going to put a bunch of expectations out there, but the staff that brought in the right players for this team, and I'm really confident when it comes to, we can win a lot of football games here, and we were plays here and there, and I'm not going to make excuses, but we were plays here and there from having a completely different season last year. And this is my last go around. This is all the eligibility I got left. So I'm just going to try and take advantage of it in every way. And, seeing new places that I haven't played at before and get to go play at the, start off the season at Kansas City will be awesome. So just take advantage of everything.
When you look at this group offensively, does it feel like this is the most complete group that you've been a part of, since the new regime took over? Does it feel like we've got the guys at wide receiver, we've got the guys at running back, we've got the offensive line in place, where you've got the quarterback? Does it feel like, okay, now we're in that position offensively where we can really be consistent and do good things?
100%. A lot of that comes with timing and reps, like with the offensive line, but I do feel really confident in the where we're at as a team, and I think the way this team is put together as of right now and what it will be for this season will be really good for us. I think we can make a lot of explosive plays. We can run the ball. We can pass the ball. We got Joe Royer, who will maybe hide a little bit, but I'm sure he'll be covered quite a bit. But I'm real excited for it, that's for sure.
I'm curious your perspective on this, because we've talked about it a lot going into the Big 12, that first season, coming from the American. When those teams came out on the field, it was like, oh, this is different. Did you line up? Teams? Yeah, Big 12 teams compared to like what you were going against in the American previously. Did you line up and look across from you and go, oh boy, this is we definitely jumped up a level here?
For sure. And you see that watching film every week, because Mondays are off days, so we get in the film room and watch tons of tape, trying to pick out the defensive linemen's rushes and different moves that they use. But from American to the Big 12, I mean, the size difference is definitely there. I'm used to going against Dante every day when we go against each other. So I mean, I get a really good opponent to go against every day. But he's a little shorter than the guys that are in the Big 12, and I mean, those kids they're pretty big. I've played against some big defensive linemen this last couple of years, that's for sure.
I was front row at WWE.
It was fun. It was a good experience, that's for sure. I'm not growing up. I'd say probably till I was 12 or something like that. I was a huge WWE kid, and then I kind of fell off. But never really been to an event besides I went to the Royal Rumble a month before that. I took my brother and Dante up there, and it was a good experience. It's different sitting front row right behind the announcers, that's for sure. Got to have a couple conversations with Pat, and you hear everything they're saying, even you're not watching it on TV. But it was a good time, that's for sure. Yeah.
You tell Sorsby, like, calm down with the WWE stuff.
I had to because I don't know if I said this before already, but when I saw him, when we went to the Royal Rumble, we were walking in, we were, midway up in the rafters, not too high, not too low. And he was on the floor with one of his hometown buddies. So we're two different lines. We were walking in, and somehow we saw him at the exact time we were scanning our tickets to get in. He was coming through. He was cutting across to get to the floor seats, and he had the John Cena wristbands on already, and the John Cena T-shirt, and the kids all about John Cena. That was my favorite wrestler growing up. But I guess my brother was watching it the other night. It was Randy Orton versus John Cena at Backlash or something like that.
Yep.
So I watched that for a little bit with him, but I had to tell him to calm down a little bit. He was getting a little too excited when we were there.
That's awesome. I just can't picture him in the wristbands. Like, I'm trying to picture it in my head. I can't do it.
I wish I would have took a picture of it. It was hilarious. That's for sure.
That's awesome.
He's joining us at 6:30. Maybe you can text him and tell him, like, go full
Yeah.
Cena when he joins us at 6:30.
Okay. I know he's in Texas right now, so
Yeah,
hopefully
he
he has him with him. Hopefully he has him with him, though.
Travels with it.
He probably does.
You never know. You never know when you got to bring it out.
Yep.
All right, man. We appreciate it, Gavin. It's always a pleasure talking to you. And can't wait, man. I know you're excited to get into that new IPF and get this thing rolling for 2025.
Yes, sir. Appreciate you guys having me on. Take care.
All right. Thanks, Gavin.
Yeah.
Tell your dad I said hi.
Will do.
All right. There you go. Gavin Gerhardt. Starting center. It feels